Hey everybody, it's Jess from Meyer Hatchery and welcome to another episode of Chicken Chat. Today we are going to be talking all about getting our coops ready for winter. Fall is definitely here. The leaves are changing and the flock just went through their fall molt. So now it's time to get our coop ready for winter. Today we have two special guests here on Chicken Chat. First we have Megan. Hi Megan.
Hello, Jess. How are you?
I'm good. And you?
Good. Yes.
Awesome. And we have new to Chicken Chat. We have Lauren. Hi,
Hi.
Lauren. All right. So let's just dive right in here. First of all, wait, before we dive in, let's go back. How's everybody's fall? How's your coop doing?
Okay, so fall in Texas, we are still at 100 degrees. So I don't know if we can really call it fall here in Texas.
Oh my goodness. Phew.
Yeah, it's a little warm still.
Yeah.
But we have the molt. The molt is still there and feathers everywhere. So the molt is here, but just not quite fall weather. So it doesn't feel like fall yet.
Soon.
It's also still pretty warm here, but at least we get the cool mornings. So
Nice. I love those cool fall mornings.
yeah.
Changes are coming and they're just so lovely. So, all right. So let's get into.
What about you, Jess? What about your fall?
Well, it's starting to get cold. We're still a little warmish during the day. It's kind of a strange day. We will have like winter clothes in the morning. By lunch, you're wearing your fall clothes. By dinner, it's summertime, and then by after dinner, you're back in your winter clothes. So,
So you kind of hit all of the seasons.
Exactly. Yes, absolutely. They always say in Ohio, if you are sick of the weather, just wait an hour. It's going to change. So, talking about where we live, what's winter like where you live? So for me, it's really cold. I live in the snow belt. I live right along the lake. So I get a ton of snow, ton of cold temperatures, and we kind of really locked down for a couple months here in Ohio. What about where you two live?
So in Texas, we really don't have a lot of snow. Like there might be a little bit of bouts of snow or a blizzard, but really what we have to worry about is a week or so at a time where temperatures just drop. So you might have one full week where you're like in the teens, and that's really about it. Otherwise, it kind of climbs up. We kind of do a Texas roller coaster of weather. So, but we really don't have snow, so we don't have to worry about that. So that's good. Just every now and then cooler temperatures. You just have to make sure everything's ready for those. One thing that does get really bad in Texas is black ice. So like it'll rain and then freeze overnight. But it really doesn't affect the chickens except for waters, just making sure waters are good. But yeah, it gets kind of cold, but not tremendously. We have very mild winters.
Nice. Lauren?
Our winters are also pretty mild. We get down into the teens some, but again, not very often. Like Megan said, what we struggle with the most is the humidity. And so our chickens will struggle with frostbite, specifically the roosters and their combs. But otherwise, we don't get a lot of snow either, pretty much none ever. But our waters will freeze some. So, I mean, it's cold and everything dies. So it's harder to forage and things like that too.
Right, exactly. Well, I can just pack up some of this snow and send it to two of you. You can totally have some of mine.
I would love it. You are welcome to pack up snow. That sounds delicious. That was
Awesome. So you both kind of mentioned it, but what are some of your biggest challenges during the wintertime?
So challenges would probably be the water, like just to make sure that the water is thawed out or you have to go and do that little boot kick, which is fun. But this year we have a new coop, and so I think our challenges are going to be all new challenges. So we have a chicken tractor basically is our coop, so the bottom is open, so we're going to have to close in that bottom at some point in time. And I think what we're just doing a layer of, I don't know if we're going to do like boards down or if we're just doing cardboard, but one or the other. It's going to be a learning experience for sure. So that's my biggest challenge this year is to figure out what this new coop, how we're going to make sure it stays nice and toasty.
Our biggest challenge, like I said, is the frostbite on the combs. So we have to keep an eye on that. We make sure that we don't have any waters in the coop. And we will put the Vaseline on the chickens that have the bigger combs, trying to make sure that we had a rooster get frostbite last year. So it's definitely something that we're hyper aware of.
Watching.
Yeah. But otherwise that's definitely our biggest struggle.
Yeah.
What about you, Jess? Yeah.
Our biggest challenge is keeping the waterers from freezing because it does get so cold, and keeping our flock busy because once the snow hits, they really can't go out and forage or anything like that. So we have to get creative with boredom busters and keep everybody nice and happy in the coop. Our ducks love it. We've actually seen them go swimming in the snow, which is hilarious, but the chickens want nothing to do with it. They will run to the edge of the coop, they see the snow, and they turn around and go back in. So those are kind of our two big challenges.
So Jess, what do you do for boredom busters?
So we do a lot of hanging things in the coop. So I'll hang fruits and vegetables in there, and I'll use we have that amazing lettuce holder that we sell at MHYT.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll hang that in there. We'll throw scratch down into the bedding because we do the deep litter method, and that kind of keeps them busy. I grow fodder for them, so they're still getting their greens. Different things like that, just to kind of keep everybody busy. I make sure I don't have too many chickens in the coop. I know that chicken math is very bad here, but we make sure we have the right amount of chickens in the coop, so we don't, we can prevent any bullying and things like that. So do either of you have any boredom busters to use? You can kind of forage, although it's fall, winter, so a lot of things have died back, but is there anything extra that either of you do in your coops for boredom busting?
I don't really do any of like the fun boredom busting that you do. We do, sometimes I'll do some hanging things. But that's really just if I have excess in the house, like to make for the chickens. But they do free range. So going out a little further. Now, the only thing that we adjust during the winter time is more scratch. So we feed them just their normal pellets and then do additional scratch. And sometimes, I like to spoil the chickens, so I'll go and do just random scratch during the day. If I need a little break, I'll walk up there and feed them. So, and I think that keeps them busy too. So
absolutely.
What about you, Lauren?
Yeah, we do the same. We'll throw out a few more snacks and some like black oils, sunflower seeds, and things like that for them to scratch at. And something to do, mostly so that they don't wander too far.
Yeah.
And they still stay closer.
I have some black sunflower seeds that I wish I could give you because I don't know what it is. I'm not even kidding you. My girls will not eat black sunflower seeds at all.
Oh,
yeah, I know. Is that not crazy? Like they just
that's interesting.
Crazy for it. Oh,
yeah,
that's interesting. Huh.
Yeah, my chickens love them. My ducks won't touch them, but my chickens love them.
Yeah. Huh. That is interesting.
At all.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about how we prepare our coops for winter. So Lauren, would you like to share how you prepare?
Yeah. So we take some of that like plastic vinyl sheeting. Imagine like what you would make a slip and slide with. And we have big openings. It's like a barn size coop. And so we've got big kind of triangular openings on both sides that we cover with the plastic for winter. And we just, put up some wood and keep it in there. But then there's still ventilation open on the sides, trying to keep that humidity and things down. But the sheeting mostly helps with, it's a windbreak. And so you walk into the coop and you can feel the difference for sure of it's warmer in there and stays pretty warm.
Nice. Good. What about you, Megan?
I like that. Well, as I'm sitting here listening to Lauren, I'm thinking I might even try the plastic. That sounds good. I think we were going for cardboard so we could put that in some compost and get it all broken down and tear it all up. But the plastic actually might be a good idea. Like I said, this is a whole new year for our coop. So winterizing is going to be like super different. And I think we're gonna have to find that balance. But we do have windows at the top as well. So we're gonna have to seal those off. And then we do have places that were specifically made for ventilation to keep the humidity down, because we too had a rooster who, poor little thing, got some horrible frostbite, lost half of his, it's this big leghorn with this little mini comb. Anyway, poor thing. But anyway, it's going to be definitely a trial and error for us. So what about you, Jeff?
So we actually have 2 coops. We have 2 setups. So our flock will actually be moved to their winter coop. And we found it was really easy to do this. Our first year was kind of rough. We were lugging water out there, and it was hard. So we actually built a coop onto our barn where we have access to electricity and running water. And it just makes things so much easier for us, because once that snow hits, it is so hard to get back there multiple times a day. I mean, we check them in the morning and the evening, but these little conveniences just really help to make sure that our flock is okay. Like Lauren mentioned, we make sure that if we need to put any sheeting up, we do that. But we're also making sure that we still have that ventilation. We are talking a lot about frostbite, and really, when you're choosing chickens for your flock, you want to take a look at where you live and the type of combs that your chickens have. Where I'm at, I don't have many birds that have large combs, because in the beginning I learned they're going to get frostbite here very quickly. So we have a lot of, the pea combs and the more compact combs in our flock. I also like to make some comb balm, which we'll leave a link to that in the description below, to help with preventing frostbite. I just laugh because when I have to put it on the birds, they're like, no, and I'm like, no, we're helping you. Like, this is a good thing. Don't stop moving around.
Be still.
Yes, exactly. I don't know if I mentioned, but we test the heated waterers. Like, we'll plug them in, make sure the lights look good. And then we just make sure that the bedding is ready for the deep litter method, because that's what we use. So we make sure we have a good fresh start, make sure everything's clean, and we have good bedding to start on that.
Start off.
Yeah.
Cool. So forgive me for not knowing, but so in Texas, I'm thinking in Georgia too, it basically snows and then it almost disappears most of the time the day after a couple of days. Now, when it starts snowing in Ohio, are you going to continually have snow on the ground for the majority of the winter?
Yeah, it really does depend on where you are in Ohio. In Southern Ohio, it's not as much. It tends to melt quicker. Where I'm at, it tends to build. We get something called lake effect, which makes me just shake thinking about the lake effect snow. But we will get layers on layers of snow. So really, once it starts snowing for me, it's going to stay there. It's kind of starts like the end of December-ish. Sometimes we get some in November. It'll melt, and then it'll start in December, and then from December to like February-ish, we'll at least have a couple feet on the ground where our particular farm is. So yeah, it's just something we get used to. When we talked about how do we keep our birds busy, another thing that we'll do is we'll actually like snow blow trails in the snow. So the birds at least will go out a little bit and go, yeah, exactly, like a little maze for them. So we do little things like that, and yeah, we make it work.
So you snow shovel for your birds, not necessarily for you guys.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, yeah, they are
priority.
My birds are beyond pampered here, and we make sure that everybody is super happy in the wintertime. But yeah. So it really does depend on where you're at in Ohio. But yep.
Cool.
All right. So we're talking about preparing our coops and all that kind of good stuff. What is your favorite cold weather Meyer hatchery product that you add in your coop?
So I've already told you how my birds are picky with the sunflower seed oil or sunflower seeds, but you know how the traditional water, chicken water, it has the top and you slide it on and it has the ring around the bottom.
Yeah.
Basic everyday chicken water. My chickens prefer buckets over chicken water. I kid you not. They will not go to the traditional chicken water. So our favorite here is, I think it's Farm Innovators, and it's like a 2-gallon bucket, and you plug it in, and it keeps it just above freezing. So like it's not going to be warm water. But last year it was perfect. So, we walk around to any of the big troughs to knock the goats and the pigs and stuff, and you have to kick the water to break the ice. But those never did. So that was always nice that we knew that the chickens at least had a couple of waters that would not freeze overnight. So
nice.
Those by far my favorite.
Awesome. What about you, Lauren?
Yeah, we the black oil sunflower seeds, like I mentioned, that Meyer Hatchery sells in the big 50-pound bag. And we use those year round, but we definitely feed a lot more in the winter. And then we also have it's just a smaller bowl that we plug in, just for the same thing that Megan mentioned, in that it keeps it overnight from freezing. But then the rubber bowls we've also found don't freeze as easily. So that's kind of what we also have out water wise.
Nice. Those are great.
Yeah.
Those the plug-in small bowl, like I think they call it like the dog bowl or water or whatever.
Yeah.
Those are great. We use those for the ducks too, because
Yep.
they can get their heads in there, they can clean out their bills, but they can't necessarily go swimming in it. Although this is my first year with some smaller ducks, so we'll have to report back in the spring when Megan shares about her tractor and I share about my first year with having miniature smaller ducks here.
Smaller duck.
My favorite products are the thermal poultry water that we sell here at Meyer Hatchery. I absolutely love that. We have used that for a couple years here. It's really easy to clean. There's like a tray that comes out. You can dump all the debris out of there. The chickens can't sit on it. They can't roost on it because it's like got a rounded kind of pointed top. So we really, really like using that. The other thing is, because I have silkies, we put in a heat mat into our coop. I know, but it just gives them a little bit of something to lean against when it gets cold. And it is kind of cute though to watch them go lean up against their heat mat and stay warm. And my other favorite product is our large birds, our light Brahmas, our some of our Orpingtons. I keep a few larger birds in my coop because they help to keep each other warm. It is the most awesome thing to see everybody like on the roosting bar, and like the light Brahmas got the silkies next to her and keeping them nice and warm. So that's another one of my favorite items for Meyer Hatchery, some of our larger birds that we have.
That's very smart. Yeah, I like that. We have a really huge coop. So this year I kept buying, and even Lauren, she was like, I cannot believe you're still buying chicks. And I'm like, I know, but I need it to be full. Right. So in the winter they can stay warm.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you both for joining me on Chicken Chat today. I hope that everybody has enjoyed listening to how we get ready for winter in the different parts of the United States. I love these chats because we're all in different places and we all have different perspectives as far as raising our flocks. If you have any questions, be sure to let us know in the comments below. As always, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and click that bell so you're the first to know every time a new video has been released. Thank you so much for watching.